Easy. How's it going, guys? My name is Greg Rollo, and I own GSR Fit here in Binghamton, New York. And we're going to talk over the deadlift. A few key points as to how to get started if you've never deadlifted before, or if you have, what are some common mistakes. We're going to at least cover a couple things so you guys have a better idea as to what you need to be doing and how you need to be moving to get a great setup for a deadlift. All right? So we'll step in. The first thing that I'm thinking on a deadlift, right? If you want to bring it in here a little bit, we're going to be talking about my foot position. So initially my foot position has to be about hip width apart, right? So I want to be nice and narrow on this. If your normal squat stance is going to be toes out, in a deadlift, typically you're going to have feet straight forward. Now some people are going to vary based on just your body mechanics and how you're built, but for the most part, I'm going to have this nice narrow stance, right? Bring my shins to the bar. When I say that, I'm probably about an inch away from the bar still, okay? So I always tell people to be within their laces. So that means this pocket right here of your shoe is where you want to think to line up. So you don't want to be way back here grabbing the bar and pulling it in. And on the same note, you don't want to be shoving your shins to the bar and scraping the skin all the way off your shins, right? So if I get my initial setup, I'm going to be good there. Now I'm thinking about how do I get down onto the bar to get my hands set, okay? Probably the biggest mistake I see people make is that they're going to bring real narrow and be tight here so that their knees are diving in. So your initial thought is, I want to squeeze my butt nice and tight, and I'm going to lower down onto the bar. Rather than reaching down to the bar, I'm going to squat down to the bar, okay? Bring your shoulders back, send your hips back, and squat down on the bar. I'm going to grab on, so I'm about one thumb distance away outside of that knurling. And again, everyone's a little bit different, so mainly what I'm looking for is that I'm not forcing my knees to dive in. You've got to take a picture of yourself, a video, or have somebody look at you. This position right here is not where I want to be, but that same stance with my hands a little wider brings me in a great spot, right? And then I'm going to go through my actual deadlift. As I'm starting to rise up, again, the whole thought process is leaving my back flat as possible. So I'm not going to roll those shoulders forward at any point. You can see the GSR in my shirt. I'm going to bring it tall so if someone's across from me, they can see my shirt and read it as I'm starting to rise up, okay? Hips and shoulders, they're going to rise together all the way up to my knees, and you guys will see that in a second. I grab on, right? Lower down. My hip angle is such that my shoulders are above my hips, right? So I'm not lined up like this. On the same note, I'm not way back behind the bar, okay? You may see this in Olympic lifting, but that's more for people with specifically that body structure where they can sit there and rise from this position. But for you and the majority of people, you're gonna lower down, tighten up your hips, tighten up your back, your shoulders and hips rise together. When I get to my knees, I squeeze my butt and drive up. And on the way down, it's the same thing. Send my hips back, back, back. As I get to my knees, my shoulders and hips again, they lower together. So again, rise together, open, and then send the hips back and down. So before we kind of finish this up, a good fix for a lot of people that find if you get down on the bar and you just can't tighten up, right? You feel like you're just forcing yourself down into that position. I set up some plates here. You guys can see this. If you have limited flexibility or range of motion, a good answer, right, is that I'll be here. I'm still going to lower down in the same fashion, set my feet up, my hands going to be outside of my legs, lower down and grab on. Now this shorter range of motion is still going to be a great deadlift with my hips and shoulders rising together and then opening up, and then the same thing, sending them back and down on the plates. But if I get in that position, I'm going to have a better chance of holding my back flat, okay? So for right now, those are the main things you want to set up your deadlift, going from start to finish. If you have any questions, leave some comments below, and thanks so much for watching.